Oh man, oh man. I tell you, everything's on fire here. It's been a little rough this past week. I got to fill everybody in on a few things. First off, well, I got just a bunch of crap here. We're kind of building a PC. Second thing, probably gonna build a second PC just as a backup because I did a video probably about 2 years. People that follow the channel for a long time probably remember this video. It was like the perfect system or whatever. Always try. No, the ultimate system, I think, was the title of the video. But I digress. I had like a DMA protection error on that HP system. Now, it's a very expensive workstation, mind you. It was specifically the HP Z8G5. And yeah, it just stopped booting after a firmware update. Now, could have just been a bad firmware update, whatever. Maybe the system was damaged in shipping a little bit. I remember seeing a couple scratches on the motherboard, and maybe it just finally crapped out on me. I don't know. I'm really kind of disappointed, to be honest, because it's kind of kept me down for like the last 2 or 3 days, and I hadn't been able to do anything in here. So I was like, screw it, we're just gonna hook up the MacBook. So that's kind of what we're doing. Today, I guess, we're gonna be on Mac. And the thing I like about the MacBook, now I like to crap on the Mac. I hate the aesthetic of the Mac. I hate the sensibilities out of the gate of the Mac. And there's just nothing I really like about the Mac except for it's very reliable. It's always consistent. It's always the same experience. And I don't really have to worry about updates or anything. And it's nice just to pop it open, or portability, battery life, those things. It just does so well. So I understand why people use it for that. It's kind of why I have it as a backup. Nice in this instance. But man, I tell you. And yeah, my hair, crafter, I'm gonna grow out my hair as long as possible. I'm gonna have a giant fro here in like 2-3 months. I don't know why. I figured I have a lot of friends now that I'm in my 40s that are starting to lose their hair. And I know a lot of people like to grow the beard and then shave their head. That's all the fad. I'm kind of a contrarian, so I'm going the opposite way. I'm gonna just keep shaving. I forgot today, but I'll get tomorrow. And I'm just gonna grow out my hair as long as possible before I just can't anymore. So my hair's gonna look like a complete mess for about the next year. But I don't care, just because. The other thing, so we'll get on the Mac. I'm trying out this new productivity tool called Super Productivity. There's been a couple videos I've watched about it, and I do like that it's completely independent, open source, and self-hosted. So we're gonna probably pull that in a little bit and try to organize some products while we have this downtime, and a few things. The spec of the PC, I'm gonna try and I think I'm gonna try and reuse this Intel 13th gen I had. I think the 13th gen's okay. I think over the weekend I made a tweet about this, like it finally died on me. However, after reviewing everything, it ended up being the power supply. So the Intel 13th gen, I think, still okay. Maybe okay, maybe not. But I'm gonna give it a shot. So I cobbled together some stuff off Amazon. I bought a $50 case, cheap set of memory, cheap, oh God, I think another PSU, just a cheap PSU. So probably like $80 there. It's about $200 all in. And I'm gonna just toss this board in there, hope for the best, use that as the backup system once this thing comes out. HP is gonna send me a whole new system board. So we're gonna have that whole system board back up and going here in a little bit. So that should be pretty fun. Also, I meant to mention at the start of the stream, I am streaming over on YouTube right now. So I'm trying out something where I do like members only chat on YouTube, but I still stream over there. So you can still catch it kind of live on YouTube as we go along. So I'm kind of tinkering around with that. YouTube Live's always been something that kind of sucks to set up. I don't mind doing it. It's just, I don't know. YouTube's just been so don't know, for lack of better words, not great lately. You know, could be better. But I'm gonna keep trying out. I really do like the live, and I'm just gonna keep going for that. So be looking out for that too. So if you do want to watch on YouTube instead of Twitch, you can while it's live, but afterwards it's gonna be gated to members only. So if you are watching on YouTube, you can catch it when it's live. I'll try and do like an actual scheduled start time. Everyone on Twitch already knows what I'm about to say. I always say I'm gonna start at like 10 o'clock my time, but then it's always like 1 before I get going. So I'm gonna get better about actually having a scheduled start, like an actual job. Anyways, that's the full shower thoughts of the day. Let's get on the desktop. We're gonna look at all the different repositories we have. We might touch Mac Utility today, or we might just try and like tweaking the Mac to where I really like it again. I tried Aerospace, tried Yabai, tried a whole bunch of stuff on there to really make it okay, but whenever I do a tiling window manager on anything that's not Linux, I always miss Linux. I just do. So let's get going. It should be fun. Should be fun. And I'm probably gonna kill something, but you know. Oh, and yeah, the desktop. Oh my God. I tell you. All right. What do we got going on here? We got that YouTube. Looks like we're good. Thank you, Javier, for becoming a supporter on the YouTube channel. I need to like pop this out. I'm gonna get better though. It's gonna be great. First off, the super productivity tool, and everyone always asks this too. What am I doing for my browser? I hate all browsers. Browsers are just complete crap. I'm on Chrome still, and I hate Chrome. But Firefox I equally hate. I just am very angry at all web browsers right now. I did recommend like Thorium back in the day, but it just doesn't have recent updates, and it just lags too far behind, and it's a solo dev. So I can't really use it either. So I'm in a weird limbo when it comes to web browsers, to where I just hate every web browser. So I guess I'll just use Chrome for now. I guess that's what I'm gonna do. I just absolutely hate it. Sparky, how's it going, man? Oh man, Sparky knows. He's been around forever. He's like, I've heard this for the last 7 years. Nonsense, utter nonsense. It's fair. Just build my own browser. Well, you know, Ladybird's trying to do it. You know, I did ditch all my tiling stuff. So anyways, this is super productivity, something that I'm working for. Couple things I wanted to like have like an easy note-taking process, and this kind of fits the bill. It's simplistic, but also will be able to do some really cool stuff with when it comes to the productivity piece. So I'm kind of trying to kind of blend all this together. As far as AI stuff, most people know I'm trying to do the AI VidGen, and I'm kind of messing around with a few things. You saw it just a little bit ago. I think some B-roll and some subtle things should be pretty good. Paul, thanks for joining the members over on YouTube. Sweet. Thank you guys. So this is the new tool, Super Productivity, completely free, completely open source. Absolutely love it so far, and it's not overly complex. And the sync, it has Android, Mac, Linux, Windows, and it syncs. I think I put it to sync to Dropbox, but you can do WebDAV. So if you want to do like a local share to host all this, you could. I never use my Dropbox anymore because it just like started limiting certain things. So syncing through the Dropbox actually works well because it just uses an API key. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Have you considered Microsoft Edge as a browser on macOS? Oh gosh, I think I threw up in my mouth a little bit on that one, Paul, but I really don't want to try Edge. Not from a technical perspective either, totally from a belief perspective, because Edge itself is baked into Windows, and I just don't want to like it, and I'm afraid I will like it.
And I just couldn't forgive myself if I did. I know that sounds absolutely silly, but it's just my thought process. It's completely irrational. But I just like, I'm afraid I might actually like Edge if I used it extensively. And I couldn't forgive myself if I became that person. So I'm not going to knock people that use Edge. But the fact of what they're doing and how they're baking it into Windows, just out of sheer spite and principle, makes me not want to use Edge. Yeah. You will like it. It's good on Mac. It's hilarious how that goes. I know. And especially with how bad Chrome is right now. Like, Chrome feels bad right now. Like, really bad. So that's kind of it. Like, Zen browser's probably one of the things people really like, but it's Firefox based, and I could see myself having more problems with it. Where I think Edge would have probably no... God. Oh, Paul, you're going to make me switch to Edge. I think I almost have to do it now that I just said all that, because that's essentially the only drawback. But I hate moving all my stuff from browser to browser. I'm gonna have to sleep on that. How much is it taking up? Do we have a B top in old Mac? Maybe. Hey, how much is Chrome taking up? A lot. Probably. Oh, if we add it all together. Yeah, probably around 2 gigs. God. That's just depressing. Just very depressing. Well, anywho. Yeah. Ugh. We can now finally call you Edgelord. Okay. Sparky tipped me over the edge there. Brave, I've done Brave in the past, and Brave's okay. It's just, I don't know, they have just such a shady track record that I have a hard time going back to Brave. One, I'm not a huge fan of like the seed phrase sync, and just kind of puts a bad taste in my mouth, especially with all the crypto crap that they have intertwined with it. And then they had that kind of sore spot. I think it was like a couple years ago whenever they were rewriting people's they were rewriting people's affiliate links. So like when you go to a website and there was an affiliate link there, they were actually going and rewriting it for the Edge affiliate. Much like the Honey scam, but not as bad as Honey. It was mainly when you were going to a website that they had an affiliate partner with and you didn't have an affiliate link to, they would go ahead and write theirs in. And I think they got in big trouble for that, and I don't think they do that anymore. Not that I care, but I mean, it's just another thing that's like just a shady business practice. So, Lord Humongous, thank you for becoming a member of the channel. Hey, YouTube members, don't you guys be nice to the YouTube members, man. So let's go. I think we got to add another one into this board. And for the board settings, what I really want to do, and I don't really know how to do this. I've just started using super productivity. So let's see if I can hit edit. I think I can add a board, add a new panel, and I'm gonna go GitHub projects. And I think we'll do all. Ooh, so I think under projects we can specify what we're doing. Oh, okay. Let's go. Okay, let's make some new projects here. That's interesting. On how we specify this on here. Oh, yeah. I saw that the bill to ban VPNs from ISPs, you could still do like a to get out. Let's say you're in Michigan right now, and they do eventually do like a great firewall like China did. You could do probably VPSs, do a direct SSH into a VPS. You could set up like proxies and other things like that, and then from the VPS you could go out and connect a VPN and then get out that way. So you have a little bit of an extra hop, so it might slow down the connection a little bit, but you can then bypass any laws or anything that's going on in your neck of the woods. Tor probably won't be affected by that as well, so probably some other Tor stuff will happen. There's other ways to bypass blocks of VPNs. I might do a video on that, actually. It's a good example of something. Yeah. But I always, I don't get political at all. I look at problems and I try and find solutions, because everything can be solved. So, usually the people writing the laws are just a bunch of, who I don't get into the sides or anything.
Yeah, well.
But they're all just old people, a bunch of 70, 80-year-olds. So they don't really know anything anyways. And they try and like block and understand things. But hell, these old guys don't even know the difference between Apple and Android. I think it was, what was it when they were interviewing Zuck and they're like, I can't believe he had like an iPhone, and he was like sitting there railing on Zuckerberg, which there's so many things to, yell at Mark Zuckerberg for. And yeah, it's just the nature of the beast, So I always just look at it and go, okay, well, how do we get around this? Because there's always a way around it. So never think that you're like isolated or you can't fix a problem because of some bureaucracy. It might make your life a little more difficult for a little bit while you figure it out, but you can always change things. But VPS, Tailscale, Tor, there's a lot of solutions to this, so you can totally get around it. VPNs, yeah. So like VPNs themselves, I always said, is always run your own VPN. If you want to VPN into like another place, almost every business does that. So you can't block it from an ISP port perspective, because that's how most businesses VPN in. How they would have to do it from a firewall perspective, just getting the technical details, like they couldn't just block 1194 or I think that's like OpenVPN's port. You have WireGuard, you could block a lot of WireGuard ports, and they might just do a blanket block on like the default port. But even then you can do obscure ports. I don't know how exactly they'd try and monitor that, but it would be interesting to see. I don't think it's possible though. Yeah. We'll see. Yeah, Tailscale's solid. I blocked Tailscale though here. Typically Tailscale will always phone home to their stuff, but I always view Tailscale as a risk, so I usually block a lot of their domains. And you can't block specific ports necessarily with Tailscale, but I think it runs through HTTPS, which you're not blocking 443 if you use the internet at all. So usually I look at it like a deep packet inspection and then blocking the domains themselves. But like that would be way too much for most governments to do. It would just be insane trying to filter all that out. Fix the huge parking problem in Detroit. Oh man. Yeah. Move out to the country. Problem solved. What's your favorite movie and why is it Never Ending Story? Artax, no. Oh man. All right, I'm gonna pull in these projects really fast. I want to say, actually, let's go tags. Let me create a new tag. Go WinUtil. Hashtag GitHub. Can I do that and then just do a tag? No. Let's just do the GitHub tag actually. And then let's say we get into here. We can just go settings. I wonder. And I'm wondering how the best way to approach this is. Anyways. I might tinker around with this some more. I want to just show off super productivity. I thought this is kind of a cool tool. Let's pull up this again. Not on aerospace anymore, sad to say. Moved on, doing stock. So my problem with like aerospace and Yabai and a lot of them is it just doesn't feel very good, especially compared to the Linux counterpart. I've been really building out DWM Titus specifically. This is something I've been working on and slowly, I need to do a latest release on, but the idea behind it is to have a minimal setup. Now, a lot of people are talking right now about DHH's Omarchy, and Omarchy's good, but it uses Hyperland and Wayland as the back end, and it just doesn't feel great. I was having specific issues with some drag and drop functionality. It felt a little bloated. There was a lot more packages compared to the Xorg Linux counterpart. Also, I was getting a weird bleed through effect whenever I was gaming sometimes, and I had like a window behind it, even with opacity and window decoration set to 1. And overall, it just didn't feel great. It felt good, and Omarchy I think is amazing, and I love a lot of the ideas behind it. So I thought I'm going to steal this and bring it to Xorg and try and do a full documentation with hotkeys and everything. I'll probably make a video whenever I'm done with this on YouTube. This will probably be, I'm going to say, by the end of the year. And I'm also about to complete the Linux book. Here's the linuxbook.com if you want to get like a pre copy of it. This will always be here and it'll always keep getting updated, but I thought I'd break down Linux for a lot of people in a desktop realm, where most Linux books or technical books that I see right now, many of them are simply, best way to say this is they're meant with server and CLI in mind, and not really written from using Linux from a desktop perspective, where this book is specifically with a desktop perspective, like switching from like Windows to Linux, things that you'll encounter, different ways that it is used. And that's another thing I've been kind of working on too. So we got DWM Titus, the Linux book I've been working on. And if we go into GitHub itself, I'm going to actually go through some of the big projects. WinUtil, of course, which we've been talking about, Caleb mentioned earlier. Still working on a few different things on this. I just did a big update for people that paid for the Windows utility to do full offline. So Jay's 2 cents, David Bumble, and a bunch of other YouTubers have mentioned the WinUtil, and in their videos when I was watching them, I appreciate the shout out, but they actually said there's an offline version if you paid for it. Instead of actually making a comment saying that's actually incorrect because it still needed to be online, I was like, all right, I just got to program that in real fast. That wasn't actually a feature, but that's probably a good idea. So that's what's happened in the past week is, yes, last week I submitted the new executable with an embedded script. So if you didn't have an internet connection, it would still run the Windows utility. However, it would disable the install tab. Obviously, it's not going to be able to install like 100 or 200 different programs in Windows utility if you don't have an internet connection. Is bundling all those would be like, you know, 10, 20 gig executable. Not ideal. So I just disabled the install tab, and then you can do tweaks and everything. So that was the big update on the Windows utility. I'm trying to think of anything else that we did with this. Still doing some updates. I think right now we're getting prepped for the 25H2 drop in Windows. If you're unfamiliar with the 25H2, I'm usually pretty pessimistic when it comes to feature updates in Windows, but the latest feature update in Windows 25H2 does have some neat areas where, you know, they have like a debloat in a group policy object, which is like, oh, that's interesting. So it's not all terrible, just mostly terrible. So the ISO's bloated up to roughly 8 gigs now, from about 6.5 to I think mid 7s. So a little over a gig added to 25H2. And the incorporation of just AI everywhere, AI gaming, Copilot gaming, just everything. They just slapped AI and Copilot on. So we're going to be ripping all that out, of course. And that's kind of what's on the docket for Windows Utility. Man, I tell you, it's yeah, it just has to go. Yeah, I always try and look for the bright parts and things. And with Windows Utility, you know, it's all the people that have contributed over the years and everyone that hits me up. I mean, this is about 1.5 years now. We have over 11 million people that have run it. And, you know, a lot of people have contributed over the years. And it's just something that I don't really necessarily like being in Windows anymore. Even probably more so than Mac. You know, a lot of times I've crapped on Mac in the past, but I really do still like jumping in Windows to fix up a lot of these new updates, even though I don't necessarily use it as much as I used to. Like, obviously, I used to daily drive it. Don't really anymore these days. I really like to be on Linux, and I would be in Linux right now, but my computer just shot craps. Thanks, HP. You're awesome. The wolf. So 3 to 5 business days, it might be back up. In the interim, I'm gonna just build another PC and just toss it in. I'm like, I got enough scraps laying around. I can Frankenstein something together. So we'll do that. 23H2, should I update? No. I'd stay on 23H2 until you can't anymore. You'd probably be able to do that for another year. 6 months to a year before you'll have to be forced to update. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, 25H2 and doesn't differ that much from 24H2. Did you ever track down, Coding Wonders, all the extra gig and a half of data that got implemented on their ISO? Why is it so big? I don't know. It's kind of crazy. Thanks for all the follows there, guys. Yeah, steal the Xeon out of the wolf. The problem, Dan, is a lot of Xeon stuff is just really, really hard to implement. So, well, not really hard, just expensive. And I'm cheap. That's the thing about me, is I like doing everything as affordable as possible. So, anything new? Let's see. Do we have Discord? Discord. Let's open up old Discord and see what we got. It's been a little bit since I've been on my Mac. I've been on it a little bit from my work. So a lot of times I will bring the Mac into the work because I still like it for portability. It's really nice for that. Let's see. I got to put this thing in like streamer mode so I don't dox everybody. I'll only dox myself. Well, you know. Let's see. Did we miss anything from YouTube? Oh, I need to pop this out here. Let's go pop out chat. Now, I did see this, and then I think I can pop this guy out too. Look at that. It's not great. Oof. Man, I missed my tiling. It's funny. Let me see. Come on. Is it zoom? Zoom in. man, my hotkey's not working there. What is the hotkey? So this has a zoom. This one does not. Oh, that's so hilarious. So if I don't run a tiling window manager on Mac and I have 3 different windows open and I go Command Tab, it only does this. I guess you could, yeah, go something in this neighborhood. But let's say I close that out. But I still don't have actually Chrome. I guess I could go window and then you can switch between it this way. It's kind of annoying. So this would be the main tab. Yeah. Ugh. Are you building a PC today? Not today. I already built my inside PC, or revamped it, I should say. So yeah. Let's go. Let's do a little zoom, I guess. Oh, not that much. It's a little too much. All right, then we'll pop it out. Oh, look at that. God, YouTube chat is awful. That's why I blocked it to members only. Command plus for switching windows of the same. Oh, okay. So let's just do Command plus. Oh, okay. Command plus and minus does the zoom in. Thank you, T-Sar. Or Sar child. Don't pronounce that. So, very, very cool. Oh yeah, streamer mode. Let's get that enabled. And then I'll pull in contributor chat, just in case people don't want their names being put out there. Well, it's all local. It's all good. Streamer mode, here we go. I'm like a fish out of water. Contributor chat. So we're going back and forth. Yeah, this is what I was talking about earlier. The difference Coding Wonders kind of brought into chat. The new 25H2 is going to be 7.2 gigabytes in size, which is a little bit nuts. And I think I was just commenting, probably just a bunch of extra AI crap that they're tossing into there. And then he pulled in the actual size difference between the two. So this is the new 25H2 below. This is 24H2 above. You can see install.wim bloated up by 1.8 gigabytes in comparison, which is kind of insane. Boot, they're adding another 600 megs to the boot as well. Or no, sorry, 60 megs to the boot. That's kind of interesting. So we'll see what all other things they toss in there. It seems like they're doing more crap with secure boot.
Yeah, well,
a lot of people don't know on secure boot what's going on. Like, people in Linux are like, hey, secure boot is okay, it's fine, everyone should use secure boot. And I just got to say, the problem I have with secure boot is Microsoft's typically the only authority server for secure boot, and all Linux distros use a shim to interface with secure boot. That's why it's kind of a pain to set up. What this means is Microsoft could just shut down every Linux install from booting if they wanted to, if secure boot's enabled. To me, that seems like a really bad implementation. I saw some very, very poor outtakes from other YouTubers about everyone should use secure boot. I think that by itself should be a disqualification. If you can't have an independent entity administer and have multiple different certificate authorities, not just Microsoft saying if your computer can boot, you shouldn't use it. So secure boot itself, a lot of people don't realize that's the case. I remember a lot of people retweeted that, and we're just not familiar with secure boot. And I was like, well, guys, I know you guys are security people, but you should probably know that this is why people don't like secure boot in the Linux realm, because Microsoft's the only certificate authority. And if you're on Linux, you kind of want to get away from Microsoft, not have them in charge of whether or not your system boots or not. So that's why I don't like it. I feel like that's a good reason. But yeah, that's that's another thing. One of the things. Anyways, this is interesting. The size difference there that Coding Wonders points out, kind of crazy. And new feature for 25H2 dev builds. Oh God, let's see what Coding Wonders put together for us. Here we go. Oh, you made a little. Oh. Well, that's kind of cool. As much as I like crapping on old Windows, baking in a looping background, live wallpapers. Well, I'm sold. I'm upgrading to 25H2 now. Damn it, coding. Oh, that's funny. Anyways, yeah, that's my little tidbit there. That's great. Did you watch The Big Lebowski? Does a bear shit in the woods? Come on. Of course. The dude abides, man. For sure. Oh, gosh. That's funny. Working on today, kind of just piloting all the repos. I kind of wanted to work on the productivity and bringing in and kind of organizing what development I'm going to work on most on the GitHub repositories we have. I really, really want to push for DWM Titus, getting the Linux book going, but also I know that's kind of like a really niche thing. Most people don't really care about it. So 25H2 is probably going to be the biggest thing that is probably on my radar whenever that drops, especially now it has live wallpapers. Man, that's big news. That's big news. Yeah. iPhone util win. iPhone's kind of funny because if you look, oh, can I say this on live? Well, now there'll be like 5 people that watch the VOD afterwards, so I think I'm okay. There's something called like Spotify and other platforms like sure, like YouTube and other ones that have ads for source of revenue. Now, even Twitch and other ones too. I gotta kind of watch my words here, but if I space out what I'm about to say past what I said, this is multi-platform, so I'm not saying specifically any of these platforms, but you can sideload unofficial applications into the iPhone. And if you look for sideloading these applications and you add the word plus plus, like Notepad plus plus, you'll find yourself getting the premium treatment without separating any dollars from your wallet. That's all I can say about that. I cannot elaborate any further, and no, there definitely will not be a video specifically going over that. But you'll find yourself in a very, very nice position. The downside, I think, sideloading on iPhones are limited to, I think, like 2 or 3 apps, unless you have a developer license. Not the VANCED. We don't say that word out loud. That is that's inferior to the things I just said. It makes that one look like meh, like yesterday's type of thing. So, yeah. I'm no investigator, but I would say you're clear. So anyways, yeah, those apps, until they get shut down because too many people found them, are pretty nice to use, but I'm not going to elaborate anymore. We're going to continue on. Moving on. Got to get away from sailing the seven seas here. I don't want to get in trouble. But it's kind of worth checking out, you know what I'm saying? Do you ever see the internet going away, or would you kill the world in terms of everything uses the internet now? The internet'll always be here in some form or fashion. I think there's going to be a little bit, it's like a pendulum that swings back and forth. I know a lot of people, like especially folks that get consumed by the news cycle. I think too many people, especially, I can only speak for Americans here, but I know a lot of people these days, I find they get consumed by the news cycle, and then they're just kind of turned into extremists or mindless sheep, where they can, depending on which side you fall on, typically they just keep regurgitating the same thing, whatever they're reading or whatever influencer they're watching, and they're not able to actually produce or create anything. So these are just like negligible parts of the population. So a lot of people get kind of caught up in that. They're like, oh, which side are you on? And I'm like, I don't really care. And the thing I like about this, I always try and look at the bright side of everything, is these are people that are just like completely taken out of society, that you don't have to compete against them because they're just worthless bodies. And what you can do is, like, if you can actually focus and actually create something, you're going to succeed like way, way easier than it was like 10 years ago. So I think there's a really cool spot kind of in the future here, kind of carved out with people that can actually ignore all the noise of the world. And you have so many things competing for interest right now that if you are actually able to focus and kind of ignore all this BS and actually go and do something, you're going to just make insane amounts of money, be successful, be able to do everything you want and achieve more than you ever dreamed of because of that one skill, which is kind of hilarious, because if you go back 20, 30 years before like the smartphone, before the internet was really all over the place, everyone had this ability, but almost nobody has this ability today. And it kind of makes me say the future looks kind of bright in a way, because like you can do so much really cool stuff. And I think a lot of people get kind of in this like negative loop, this negative feedback loop. And I'm not immune to this, by the way. If you fall into one of these categories, I've fallen into that negative loop before. I'm like, I can't believe this happened. Ha. And then I always have to kind of remind myself, if you're getting emotional about something you read on the internet or watch on YouTube or whatever it is, just know that's you being controlled. If you get emotional about it, that means you're just being like a sheep being shepherded by something. And that's typically the modern thing today. A lot of people just take for granted how awesome we all have it. Here in America, like I said, there's third world problems and other people like in wars and other things. So I understand that's difficult for y'all. But here where I'm at, I'm like, dude, this is pretty sweet. Life doesn't get much better than this. We have all these opportunities. We have all this stuff just at our fingertips compared to what it was like 10 years ago, much less 20 years ago. Dude, we can do anything. And that's how I kind of approach everything. I don't know how I even got on this rant. Do you still recommend OpenRC over Systemd? I've never actually recommended OpenRC over Systemd. I've just given options of using OpenRC over Systemd. So, yeah, I mean, it's kind of cool. I like OpenRC, don't get me wrong. And I think there's a time and a place for it, specifically if you're doing like a Alpine install, or you want like a specific thing, like let's say you're building out a kiosk and you only want that system to do one or two things, doing like Alpine Linux with a real minimal OpenRC and then like that one application running on it, it'll make it like so good that you're gonna just really slay. You know, it's gonna really just be exactly how you need it. No extra bloat, not a whole bunch of crap running in the background. And it's just gonna work from now until eternity. And that's where it's like great. So like Alpine Linux with OpenRC instead of the System D and all the extra bloat and stuff. Oh man, it's so good. It's so good. So that's what I gotta say. It's great in that regard. Oh, take it easy, Sparky. Have a good one. Good seeing you again, man. You taking questions on Windows? I see your title is MacOS time. Yeah, man. Hit me up, Bob. Windows, Linux, Mac. Nobody asked me about Mac. Nobody cares about my Mac takes. I am the anti-Mac person running on a Mac right now. Mac people are like, oh God, it's that guy. He's always yelling at us with our genie pop-up, which I'm sorry. Like when you just pop the window up, having like an animation, like even the scaling animation there isn't too much. Like just give me the window. I don't need a fancy animation. But that's blasphemy in the Mac realm. Oh my God, my last Mac video did so poorly from a like to dislike ratio. Mac people were upset with me because I offended their sensibilities. Even though I'm not wrong. Y'all are crazy. I'm just saying. System D is the slowest of them all for booting. There are videos on YouTube about it. Yeah. System D is by far the way heavier than any other init system out there. You got init D, you got OpenRC, you got to run it, you got a whole bunch of other ones. But System D is the standard, and it has all the tools. Most people don't even use it, but that's okay. At least it's somewhat standardized. Did I miss the question, by the way? Oh, there it is. I used your utility and got it the way I wanted it, and then I asked for a Microsoft account, and I had to debloat for the next freaking hour. Did I do it wrong? No. So, yeah. Occasionally, Microsoft will do this type of thing. And when you enter a Microsoft account, sometimes it authenticates and reinstalls a whole bunch of App Store apps or AppX packages, and then you have to re-debloat it. It also does this whenever you have a major feature update. We have 25H2 coming out soon. Whenever that update happens, it's going to re-bloat everything. And you can just rerun the utility, rerun the standard tweaks. That should get you into a decent spot. And that's kind of like how most people should approach it. But teach his own, you know. Brog, thanks for joining the YouTube members. So what you say is don't Mac the Yeah. Do you plan like Monday Linutil, Tuesday WinUtil, Thursday MacUtil? God, I probably should do something like that for live chat. Maybe we should do a poll. Do like a straw poll for that. I wouldn't be against it. Sometimes I get super focused on one thing and I just kind of want to finish it. But I understand it's probably not the most entertaining thing to do on stream. But I do need to probably dedicate certain days to where people can go, oh, I really want to watch him on macOS and working on the MacUtil. I don't care about X or DWM and Linux. Ugh. Or you follow me for the Windows utility, which would probably be most people. Probably should do something like that. Let's do a straw poll. Yeah. I'll do a straw poll, actually. Yeah, so then YouTube could comment too. Even people like that aren't able. I didn't open up YouTube chat to everybody because if you pull in everybody, it can kind of get a little rowdy on YouTube. I don't know why YouTube chat's hard to moderate, so a lot of times I just do members only on YouTube chat. I think that's a good in between. Not locking the stream behind a paywall, except for like VODs and such. And then just saying you guys can watch it live, and then members can rewatch or comment. I think it's a good. I'm still working on the happy medium. It's been 7 years streaming, and I'm still working on it. I'm going through literally the exact thing right now, hanging out with my 4 trash cans while I fix the nasty Razer Lappy. Yeah. Oh, God. I do have a Razer utility too, Prog. I don't know how much crap Razer installs on their laptops, but I block a lot of the Razer, like specifically like Synapses. I just hate all the extra software Razer has. I don't mind the Razer hardware products. It's just I never liked any of their software. Yeah, I think this is another problem with resale value of PCs. Prog says here, what do I do with a $10,000 trash can? Sell it on eBay for $200? It's almost better, which doesn't make much sense here, is you can... It's almost better to scrap everything down to parts and then sell each individual part resell. And I would typically, if you want to get the maximum amount of money for what you have on your computer, if you have the original boxes, boxing them back up and doing something like a hardware swap through Reddit or something like that, or Facebook Marketplace, and you'll be able to get the maximum amount of money back for whatever you paid for it. You're not going to get everything back, but you'll get a good chunk of it back doing just component-based resale. Trying to sell a full complete computer is almost impossible, except for maybe you do like a local offer up kind of thing, and then meet someone at like a police station for doing like an online exchange. That'd probably be the best way to do it. But it's kind of a bad spot right now because a lot of people don't want a full complete system anymore. Proton might be moving to Luxembourg. Interesting. I covered Proton a little bit. I'm just kind of... I don't know. There's something about Proton I just don't like. I understand they have a good track record. It's just, I don't know. Something I'm just kind of like, I don't know if I trust them or not. Man, I need to fix this. Can I just do, nope. Oh God, I need to get a Tyler. We gotta pull a Tyler back in here. It's just killing me. I hate not have tiling. Hey Chris, should I dual boot Linux and Windows with Windows on one SSD and Linux on my spare SSD? Absolutely, Kay. CAY. I would definitely do it this way. Also, I ran into something really interesting this past week. And that is when I swapped my motherboard on my inside PC, because I have my power supply die on it, and I thought initially it was my motherboard. I don't think it was actually, though. We'll find out here in a little bit. But you have to redo the EFI entries on the Linux boot, which is weird because Windows automatically recreates those EFI entries on starting up. So if you move a Linux from one motherboard to another one, NVMe to another motherboard, you have to recreate that EFI entry. So you could do like an arch chroot and then go in and then do grub-install and then the device of the NVMe, and then it would recreate that EFI install, or you could directly do it with like EFI boot MGR, and then you can make that entry in your BIOS. But by default, Linux won't recreate those EFI entries. And it was really like, what? This was booting just fine on my other motherboard, and I swapped it out, and I was like, why am I only able to boot into Windows? And that was something that took me far too long to figure out. I think it was, I figured it out, and then I went and checked my tweet, and then someone mentioned it, and I was like, yep, that was the solution. It's kind of funny. Oof. Yeah. Chris, I can't figure out which haircut are you going for. Actually, I'm not going for a haircut. I just said, hey, just trim up my hair. Probably should tell my barber, take a little bit more off the sides. But yeah, essentially, I was just like, I think I'm just gonna grow out my hair. I'm just gonna have a giant fro. One of a kind, right? Got you in macOS lately? Actually, macOS, it was just the portability, pulling things in. Let's bring this down just a hair. Because I'm still going into work. I have a day job, and I still go into work about once a week. Oh boy, watch it. And I just wanted something I could just go in, dock, and then at the end of the day, throw in my bag and then get out of there. And when it comes to portability, Mac just does it the best. I hate Mac, but I always say use the right tool for the right job. And if you're constantly on the travel and on the go and you need portability, there's no better laptop than the Mac. There just isn't. The ARM and the portability, battery life, it just does it the best. I hate to say that, you know, a lot of people, I don't like the aesthetic and a lot of the stock look of the Mac, but it does do it well. Do we want to install iOS 26? I mean, we can. What do we got? Oh God, I've heard bad things. Let's go system, right? Where's updates? I never update this thing. All right, here we go. We're ready. We want to go with the Tahoe 26 experience. We can all check out the new design featuring liquid ass, gives Mac a fresh new look that's more expressive and delightful, yet instantly familiar. Ooh. Oh, Apple Intelligence unlocked new ways to communicate across languages. Oh man, this is gonna be great. I'm still on Sequoia, so yeah, looks like I'm just on stock Sequoia 15.6. Huge bug killing battery and performance. Okay, well, I wasn't about to. I was just sitting here going, maybe. But yeah, don't do it. Thank you. Hey, chat told me not to do it. It's been decided. Yeah, a lot of people are critiquing Mac with a lot of the opaque look of the new design of 26, where you can't really read things that well. The actual clarity of the text has kind of gone downhill. Yeah, since I actually do use this, it's fine. I think also somebody asked earlier why Mac. One other thing I really like is Final Cut. So like pulling up Final Cut has been like, this has been just so much fun. I love the Final Cut editor. I know DaVinci Resolve exists. I've used DaVinci Resolve extensively. I have the studio, but I just really enjoy Final Cut as well. So yeah, broke a leg in 3 places. I can feel the screws and plates through the skin. Am I a cyborg? Yeah, Lord, you are. That's full cyborg. You're on your way. One last time. Win one shot. I think I'm going to rewrite Win one shot in F#. Speaking of which, I started this stream, said I'm going to pull in, what was it? All of the repos. So let me pull up my, let's get this going. Because it's kind of, you can bring Final Cut bindings to DaVinci. I just liked Final Cut. Specifically, some of the templating I think is better than what DaVinci does. And it's just a little bit faster for me. I understand it's not a professional tool by what most people will use, but it's good enough. So let's pull up super productivity again. Kind of wanted to pull this in. And I'm gonna pull this over here. And what I kind of want to do for these boards, let's filter this out. Require tags. Oh, actually, let's go required tabs. GitHub. Save.
Look, I want to say,
Bam.
I know you know a lot of super people, so
Ah,
for thanking
Mola, thanks for becoming a member. DJ Mola. Yeah, the to-do list apps is always kind of interesting. I go back and forth. I have like a love-hate relationship with them. But I feel like I need something. So I kind of want to do just a quick matrix. Now, you can't do like a Kanban board and do it that way as well. This is pretty simple. I kind of want something simple, but also somewhat feature rich. And I feel like this would probably be a good in-between.
Yeah, well, the dude abides.
Andrew, thanks for the sub, sir. Oh, yeah. I think are you already a mod, Mola? Caleb? Let's see. Oh, no, you're not. Here you go.
Yeah, well,
There you go.
the dude abides.
Bob, thanks for the prime. Yeah, so I think I really kind of want to see. So first off, we have WinUtil, tags. This is going to be GitHub. Title, 25H2. This is on the agenda.
Well,
We'll put that in here.
the dude abides.
Ah. Fat bastard, thank you for the gifted sub, sir. What do you say? Using Arch chroot. Yeah, oh, you just showed him. Yeah, Arch chroot's nice. You can still do chroot with Debian and other distributions, but you have to manually mount. I think it's been a while since I've actually chrooted into other distros, but you have to like mount dev and also proc and a few other things too. I think it's udev, and I can't remember exactly the sequence, but you have to mount a few more things, not just the drives, and then go Arch chroot. So you have to mount like probably 5 or 6 different things from what I remember, and then you can just do chroot and then like /mnt or wherever you mount it. All right, so we got this, we got WinUtil. Now we got 25H2. 25H2 launch. And I think we can just do GitHub. Come on back. And then if we look at boards again, then you got the 25H2 launch coming up. Other big things we got coming up on this would be... Yeah, I got to figure out something better for these recurring tasks too. I think revamp of the offline section. I added it in Rust for this specific one too, but I do want to... Let's add a new one. Offline. Revamp. Remove. Test connection. Code in .ps1. Yeah, so right now I have some code in there that's not actually being used, and I want to add that in there too. Let's also... keep forgetting to add that tag for GitHub. I wonder if I could auto do that. Okay. Now, MacUtil is the next one on here. A lot of people asked about that. And I haven't abandoned MacUtil. And I do want to do, actually, let's do a poll real fast before I forget. For both YouTube and Twitch. Because your opinion matters to me. It really does. Let's see. All right, let's create a poll. And streaming days. Do we want streaming days for MacUtil, LinUtil, and WinUtil? I just don't know. Like, LinUtil and MacUtil have tons of work to be done still, and WinUtil just, it's close to feature complete. There's always something to be done, but I guess we could work on a revamp. We could always do Win One Shot as well. So yeah. So that would be like LinUtil on Mondays, WinUtil on Tuesdays, MacUtil on Thursdays. Let's go yes, no. Let's see where it goes. Let's see what we get. Because I think that might be cool. That way people kind of know I want to tune in when Titus is on Mac, or I want to tune in when Titus is on Linux, or I want to tune in when he's on Windows. Might be good with all that. Let's create a poll, and then I'll paste it in chat for y'all. Share that, copy it, and here we go. Both YouTube and Mac can do it. I just hate. I always get the copy paste of Mac mixed up. I tell you what. So I am curious to see what people want on that side of things, because a lot of times I think my streams lately have been pretty heavy in the Linux realm. Now, I don't want to show everyone the actual results because I don't want to skew what you're going to say. Just tune in and find out. Well, I mean, technically there's going to be days where it just doesn't happen. So that will be a thing. No OnlyFans stream option. Not yet. There's enough demand. Don't burn yourself out. Yeah, I mean, this is pretty easy. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm a little older, in my 40s, and a lot of people, I think, when it comes to YouTube, Twitch, and streaming in general, I've done this rant a couple times, so it might be boring for those that have followed me for years, but my thoughts haven't really changed much over the years. This is an easy job. Super easy. Barely an inconvenience. So, like, burnout happens, I think, from maybe a content creation standpoint. But, like, if I don't have a good video, I just won't make a video. If I don't feel like streaming, I just won't stream. So it's not like, you know, those things happen. I definitely say there's times where I burn out, but it's just like, okay, well, it's time to take a break. But I think you got to have some kind of consistency too. And it's not lost on me. This is a great job. Don't ever let a YouTuber or a streamer say, this is the toughest job in the world. Oh, I'm so stressed. I've had a 9-to-5 job where it was not 9 to 5. It was more like 9 to 9, and it was ungodly stressful. I got paid a lot more than I get paid doing this, but definitely not worth it. So, I remember how stressed out that was, and I know how lucky and fortunate I am to be in the position to be able to do this type of stuff. So that's why I'm like, hey, whatever you guys want to do here, that's why I'm like, hey, if you guys want me to stream certain days or we want to do this way, I'm game. Worst case, it doesn't work, and we didn't do that. So this is the live results. 41 votes came in. Overwhelmingly, I think most people want to do specific days of streaming. So I think what we would probably do is Linux on Monday, Windows on Tuesday, and then Mac on Thursday. I think that would be good. Even though today's Tuesday and we're on Mac, we'll start this next week. We'll give it a work. Give it a whirl and see what we got. Yeah, and then I can always mix in late night if there's something I have. Yeah. What if you skip a stream day? Then it gets skipped. Everyone's going to be like, damn it, Titus is not going to stream on Thursdays anymore because that's the Mac day. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of times my days are not the most productive things either. So, like, you got to remember at the end of the day, it's more from an entertainment standpoint for streaming. You all kind of drive the ship on that side of things. You know? So, at the end of the day, it's like, hey, what do you guys want to see? That's what we're going to do. If I really need to get some work done, like, oh my God, I got to get this book done, or I need to get this project to a release, it's probably going to be a nighttime stream. So I'm probably 300 or 400% more effective at night than I am during the day. So if I really need to get something done, I just usually boot up around 8 p.m. Central Time. And then I usually go till about midnight, 1 a.m. And that's like my sweet spot. That's where I'm going to produce a ton of stuff. Like when I was starting YouTube and I was like, hey, all these kids are just killing it on this video platform. If they got that, I can do it. I know more than them. And, yeah, to break in, I was just like, I'll just do a video every single day for an entire year. And that'll work because I'll adjust. Now, it was a lot harder when I started. I was like, oh, it's not really what you know technically. It's how well you present yourself and how good you are with audio and video. So it's more of a media type of situation going on than anything else. So, yeah, just my thoughts on that. Oh, man, I do want to check one thing here. Oh, yeah. There we go. Is your WinUtil UNet booting to help people install Linux? Yeah, so I think the Linux book is probably the best thing for that, is where I can do it. Yeah, and a lot of times when it comes to that nighttime situation, I know a lot of people love to read the motivational books about there. Like I'm in my 40s now, and I can tell you, I totally scammed every company I've ever worked for because I am absolutely worthless between the hours of 9 a.m. and noon. I essentially just sit there staring at my screen, drooling on myself while I drink their coffee. True story, and I'm pretty sure I've just gotten paid all these years during those hours just to be a warm body there, because I'm just not very productive in the morning. And that's just me. So if you're like that, just know you're not the only person in the world that's like that. I just produce a lot better, and my flow states and everything come later at night. Just how I'm wired. Superproductivity.com, I think, is where the actual site is. Let me see. Yeah, super dash productivity. So this is what I've using. Completely open source, free. It's on GitHub. And it's completely multi-platform. You can do it on Android, Linux, Mac, Windows, and this seems like a really cool tool. So I kind of want to give it a shot. I've never been good with productivity tools, and they never usually work, but I wanted to try something new because I'm so scatterbrained a lot of times too. I think it'll keep me honest. Yeah. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. But it's a great tool. I've really enjoyed it. It's simplistic enough that where I'm not overwhelmed. Like there's Notion and a bunch of other folks, God, there's Zoho and other crap that most of the things I've seen YouTubers peddle have been just sponsored videos. And they're like, there's no bias here, even though it's sponsored. I don't agree with that. It's just, I think there's plenty of open source free tools that are better than Notion and many of the other sponsored videos. I've even touched, like, if let's say super productivity is not your jam, probably Obsidian. I did a video on that. Obsidian's pretty good, and I don't think it's open source, but it was a great tool that I actually enjoyed, and I don't think they've ever sponsored anybody, and I really enjoyed Obsidian. To-do.text. Yeah, Phoenix, you might be right. Yeah, I really didn't like Notion. I tried Notion, and I was just like, gross. It just left a bad taste in my mouth, So Notion just doesn't do it for me. I think it's pretty bad. If you need a lot of the advanced functionality of Notion, I think Obsidian will be the one you end up settling on. Obsidian does a very good job of almost everything I saw in Notion. The Kanban boards are very similar. You can set up a lot of searching. You can run your own local instance. It's just a very, very good tool. And these days, I kind of am against anything that requires a monthly subscription forever. I just hate it. From a personal standpoint, I just think it's just terrible. Terrible practice. I understand why people do it, but I just don't like it. Is Obsidian paid? I think they have a hosting service with Obsidian, but I want to say the application itself is free. That could have been changed though. JT, thanks for the tier 1.
Yeah, well, the dude abides.
Let's see. I'm gonna pull it up actually. Let's see what we got. I use Google Keep, keeping it basic. I used Google Keep for a while there. No, what do you use for music? YouTube Music these days. I have a YouTube Premium, so it comes free. All right, here we go. So you have it. What's the pricing? Yeah. So you can do... The sync is what you pay for if you want to go that way. But what you can do, I want to say the sync, you can set up your own special vault per se. Because when I was using Obsidian, I just installed the app and then I hosted all the markdown files on a network attached storage, and I just mounted that drive every single system I had. I think the only catch to that is I didn't have Obsidian on my phone. So yeah, that was my personal experience with it though. To me, I didn't need all the whiz-bang features of Obsidian, so I didn't end up going that way. Yeah, you can do Git. You can do a lot of different other things too. I really have enjoyed like super productivity. These are, I think, markdown tools, and they get tossed into a Dropbox. So you can put your API key from Dropbox in here, and then it'll just sync it all. So then you can have it on your Android, you could have it on your Linux, you can have it on Mac, you know, any system, and then you never pay for it. It's all free and it's open source, and you can just go to town. So this is like my thought process behind using this is I'll never have to really do anything, and I don't really ever use Dropbox anymore. It sucks. It's terrible for file sync. So that's why I do this method instead. And then I can have the boards. I can set up all that. Seems to work good for now. I just don't know how beneficial it'll be. So we'll come back to it. Gabriel, thanks for joining YouTube members. Oh man, phone. Oh God, I meant to do a video on it. The e-ink screen phone. Take it easy, Bob. Oh yes, it's got the tactile typing. This is the future. Don't need any video here. The downside to this phone is when you take a picture, e-inks do not display what the picture looks like. And the camera in this phone is about 15 years old. So it's like taking Minecraft memories with your family whenever you take a picture with it. And it kind of is a little bit buggy too. Other than those things, and the fact the battery dies really fast too, I kind of was disappointed. I thought an e-ink phone would mean batteries would just really be flying, and I'd be able to go 30 days without changing my battery. But nope, it dies within about a day or two. It's a great phone, yeah. Just kidding. I'm using a Pixel. I had to troll you guys a little bit, just a little bit there. I do like the idea of a dumb phone, and I think everyone should do the dumb phone experiment for at least a month, just so you can kind of get out of the addiction of constantly checking your phone and the dings and like kind of removing a lot of the notifications, and you'll figure out, wow, I'm way more productive. I can do a lot more things. But at the end of the day, I think like a debloated Android experience is kind of my happy medium. And that's pretty good. The best dumb phone I had actually was that video I did. Was the... oh God, what was that awful phone? It was super expensive. It was tiny. People made fun of me. They thought it was like a TV remote. I think it was the Punked M2. Yeah, let me pull it up. This is it. This was the phone. Oh my God, it was awful. The 4G minimalist phone. Yeah, the problem was like, one, the battery life wasn't very good. Two, I'd say probably the biggest issue I had with it was MMS on it was awful. So when someone sent me like a picture, it'd be like really hard to read or look at, and videos, just forget about it. It's not happening. And you can't install any applications on it. You can just do basic text message, and you can use it as a phone, and that's it. So like there's certain times where this kind of got me in trouble. I remember one time I ordered food and I went to go pick the food up, and they're like, show me your order, otherwise you don't get the food. And I was like, I can't. All I got is this phone. And I showed him the phone, and the guy's like, what? what are you doing? That's not real. And I was like, I can call you. And he's like, what's the name? And then I was like, Chris Titus. And he's like, here. Like shaking his head the whole time. It was pretty funny. The other thing was when I had to order like an Uber or something like that, I'd have to use my wife's phone. So obviously if I was traveling, this would not be a great phone. I wonder, did they improve it at all? It's so tiny too. A lot of people made fun of me with the size of it. It's like a Zoolander-esque phone. Like, this guy has a small head by comparison. I have a pretty large noggin. And when I had it up, I had it like this. And people would just make fun of me. They were just like, that's like Zoolander's phone. Which, if you don't get the reference, it was just like these little tiny phones back in the day that people used. Essentially, this was what it was. So, yeah. It was a fun experiment, and I was on it for about a month or two. Have you ever used any Linux phones? Yeah, so I tried to use a couple other ones from a Linux perspective. I tried to use probably the biggest one I tried to use was the Pine phone. I tried the Pine phone. I tried another Linux phone. It was like the Vola phone, which was awful. That was, I think it was Germany made. So it got shipped over here, but it didn't have very much in the way of compatibility. Pine phone was much better. And then I tried the Pine phone Pro. So I've tried 3 different Linux phones. The Vola phone I just threw in the trash. So that was just a complete waste of money. The Pine phone was just really underpowered, and the main issue with those were the software has so much R&D and it has to have so much evolution to get in a usable state. So you just can't really use or main a Linux phone at all. And that was kind of my experience. They're fun to tinker with, and there's like really cool stuff. It was like neat having like a Linux computer in your pocket, but essentially that's what I ended up doing. The Librem 5 had all kinds of massive problems. Oh, this looks cool. Yeah, the Librem 5 had a whole bunch of like heating issues, manufacturing problems, whole bunch of crazy stuff. Really? God, I'm a sucker for a minimal phone though. That looks pretty cool. Except for this. Maps require a Wise OS subscription. Nope. I'm out. I'm sorry. I'm not paying a monthly subscription for a minimal phone. You can just go straight to hell on that. Absolutely not. Graphene. Oh, God. I got to tell you about the graphene story. So...
Look, I want to say, I know you know a lot of super people.
Oh, boy. Robert, thanks for calling a YouTube member. Yeah, the graphene problem I had was simple. Well, actually, it wasn't even really a problem. Graphene OS is cool. I really appreciate them. And when I did a video about Graphene OS, specifically de-Googling, Google Schmoogle, and getting rid of the Google Master, it worked well, but I missed maps. I missed a lot of the convenience features. That's why I ended up going back. But I think when I covered it, it was like 2019, and I ended up giving Graphene OS like a Bitcoin as a donation. I did it in a video, so I don't even remember how much it was. I think it was like a couple $100 in Bitcoin. And God, I wish I didn't do that, because man, Bitcoin went from like, I think at the time when I gave them the donation, it was like Bitcoin was like at 3,000 bucks.
I know you know a lot of super people, so
Yeah.
Thanks for thanking him.
Yeah, that if he kept on that Bitcoin, the Graphene OS dev probably got, dude, that would have been like a $10,000 donation or something at this point in time. Ugh, mistakes were made. But it was a good project, so I like the Graphene OS, the fact it's even there. Robert and Silent, thank you for becoming a YouTube member. Did you ever try a de-Googled phone from the Braxman? I think a lot of times Braxman was just using, I think he was just like wiping out Nexus phones and Pixel phones and just loading custom ROMs and things on them. And then I think he has his own like VPN service and other things that he packages with them. So I was like, well, I can do all that. I don't need to pay the premium price for that. 1 Bitcoin today is, I think, what, $115,000 right now for 1 Bitcoin. And back in 2019, I want to say it was, I don't know, 3,000 or 4,000. Yeah, talk about inflation. Damn. Yeah. Go back in time just a little bit. Yeah, kind of wild. But yeah, no, I think a lot of the products, if you have the technical skills, I think you should just do it yourself. I really am a big proponent of just doing everything yourself. But for me, like my sweet spot with phones themselves is just taking an Android phone, de-Googling it. My favorite project of all time is... Let me just pull it up. Let's go christitus.com. Deep loads. God bless. That is a pixel. How much is that? My site loads super fast. I probably should do some better things with my image quality. But that image is 2 kilobytes, and my goodness, does it load quick. All right, sorry. And you might be laughing too. I do block ads on my site. Ain't nobody want to see an ad. I deep-bloated the image and the ads. Anyways, I digress. If you go on here, the project, I kind of show all the different commands. I even did a little walkthrough guide. But I should have a link to it. No, this is not it, actually. Oh, this is 2020. Let's just go Android. Universal Android to bloat. Okay, this is 2024. And yeah, so this is, yeah, still working great. Yes, Universal Android debloater next generation. This is the thing. You hook in, you don't need to root or bootloader unlock, none of that crap. All you need is ADB, plug it in your Android, and then just strip out all the garbage from Google. Oh, it's so good. But yeah, you can read through this. I have a video accompanying it. God, it's so good. I love it. Here you go. That is my favorite way to use a mobile phone. You get the best of all the worlds. Oh, yeah. Dan Sam also got it up there. Appreciate it, Dan. What are your thoughts on iPads? Yeah, I'm just not a big fan of a lot of the Apple ecosystem because I just don't live in it. And it's like a slippery slope when it comes to Apple and iPhones, which I did. I think I even did an iPhone switch for a couple months on YouTube for a video several years ago now, probably 3 years ago. And I've kind of bounced back and forth and I don't think I really did a video about it, but I think it makes sense if you have like a MacBook, you have the iPhone, you have the Apple TV, and you're just like buying everything that's Apple. It could be a decent experience for most people. But the problem is I'm cheap and I don't like giving Apple very much money. So a lot of my stuff was just like either I'll just get this one thing for this specific purpose. And it's just not a great experience, especially compared to what you do when you do like a full Android ecosystem type situation, to where that's just much more open and you can kind of get away with mixing and matching and going cheap. So like for me, iPads just don't make much sense, where I'd much rather have just like a I think I still have it over here actually. Oh crap. Hey, no. Oh, well. Whatever. Got it. Yeah. So I'll go with just like a de-bloated tablet. So I'll usually get a tablet, use like the Android de-bloat tool, strip out all the stuff. There was also another tool if you want to go even cheaper. Sometimes Amazon sells ad-supported subsidized tablets for like $50 or $30. So they're essentially free. And what you can do is you can buy these and they want you to do like a monthly fee, but you get them and then you strip out all that, essentially all the Amazon Fire crap. And then I think that's what I did with that one, is I bought the subsidized version with the monthly fee and all the crap. And then I never signed up for the monthly fee. And then I just wiped it all out and then just loaded stock Android. And that's been a great tablet. I've had that for many years and it's been fantastic. Plenty fast enough for me for tablets. So that's what I recommend.
To do the vibes.
For new PC builders, after first boot of Windows 11 Pro, what would you take off that's useless services that affects esports gamers? There's a lot of useless services, actually. I need to do a services overhaul, Silent, specifically going through a lot of those. There's like some VM security stuff I think I disable. There is like a remote registry and some other tools there. Also downsize or disable many tools that are automatically started on the startup. So yeah, there's probably a couple different ones. I used to use, there was a site I used to break down most of the Windows services. You guys remember Viper? I don't know if you guys remember. What was that called? Black Viper, yeah. Black Viper services. That was back in the day. Black Viper hasn't caught up with it though. And I don't think, who's picked up the mantle on that? A lot of them actually moved on to Linux. Like I was following someone back like 10 years ago that was doing a lot of optimization scripts, and he left, he went to Linux. So he stopped using it. This is back when I did a lot of system administration and deployment. I used a lot of those, but God, what do people use now that has a really good breakdown? Black Viper had a website is kind of what why I mentioned them, but that's no longer valid. That's like ancient at this time. Yeah, sometime in 2024 they stopped doing it. Oh, palm.com. Yeah, it's kind of funny. I feel like most of the people that were really tweaking a lot of Windows stuff moved on. Yeah, I'm looking on my other window here and I don't see anything. And oh God, Palm. I remember Palm Pilot. My dad loved the Palm. He knew the little scribble language that I had. Yeah, I don't really have anything silent on that front. Played any games in VR? Like Beat Saber and the normal stuff, but nothing too crazy. Well, sweet.
All right, guys. Oh, man. All right. Sorry for today. We should have gotten some more stuff done. I felt like I'll just sit there and yap the entire time. But I'm still waiting on the new PC to get kind of up and going. I need to get on my Mac some more. I kind of want some type of tiler. After dealing with Mac for just a couple hours today, I'm kind of like, I need to do some kind of tiling. Have workspaces or something set up. I don't know. I'll figure out something better for the next time and update the Mac utility too. Yeah. I do appreciate everybody stopping by. I am starting to stream again on YouTube. I don't know if they'll kill me in the rankings, but after this whole view scandal from YouTube, I'm like, I don't care anymore. We're just going to stream to YouTube. So if you do want to watch me on YouTube, you can always look me up there. I'll try and kill the fire in the background, get another system in, and we'll be back up and going. Should be good. See Austin Evans. I have never met Austin, actually, believe it or not. But yeah, I would say that's kind of where we're at. If you're going to buy a console, what would you buy? Oh, you know, believe it or not, I would probably go with Xbox. I've always kind of liked that ecosystem. If I really had a bunch of money to blow and I was a big time like console gamer, I've always kind of liked Xbox better than at PlayStation. Even though PlayStation has a better game selection and more exclusives, I've always just enjoyed the Xbox experience, gamer tags and all that. And then like the cross play with the Xbox Pass kind of makes the most sense from a console perspective. So yeah, just my thoughts. But all right, guys, big thing coming up. Next stream is Thursday. Probably will be on the Mac. I might be building a PC, but we're gonna try and like specify specific days. So going forward, Monday, Linux. Tuesday, Windows. God, I'm gonna be just so angry on Tuesday. That's the one thing I don't like whenever I'm on Windows. I typically just get so angry because of some of the decisions Microsoft makes. Like, technically, I think everyone should be using Windows, but it's just because of like crazy decisions Microsoft makes that makes me go, I just cannot do that anymore. Absolutely cannot do Windows because of Microsoft. And I know it so well. So I guess I'm just, whenever I'm on Windows, there's always like this look of like my soul's getting sucked out of me. And really what it is just, it's just that I'm disappointed. Disappointed that we all can't just use this because of Microsoft. Like, if you just gave this to any other company that isn't just awful, I feel like they could just do such a better job. Yeah. It's just like, it should be better. It should be the best. And it should be the only thing people are using. But because of decisions Microsoft makes, it forces us to use other stuff. So, Tuesdays will be Windows. I'm gonna leave it. We're gonna say it. We're gonna try it at least for the next month. It is officially September 23rd. We're gonna go all the way to Halloween, doing the Monday, Linux, Tuesday, Windows, Thursday, Mac. And I'll have something planned for each day for those things, whether it's the Linux utility, Mac util, Windows util, or maybe another project. I think in the Windows realm, to really have fun and enjoy the stream, what I'm gonna do is we will use F#. I think if I coded an F# in Windows, tying it back into like the .NET framework and like migrating some other stuff from WinUtil into Win1Shot, I think I could have a fun time in Windows. So I think Tuesday's gonna be a lot of F#. So, you know, you guys will probably sit there and yell at me for using LLMs a whole bunch. but it will be fun nonetheless. Oh, yes. Oh, I love F#. Only haters say no F#. You're a hater or a troll if you say no F#. F#'s amazing. Yeah, you're gonna yell at me anyways. It wouldn't matter what I was doing. And then Mac Util, I do need to get a good experience with Mac. And I'm to a spot where I'm still not enjoying my Mac experience. I've tried Yabai, I've tried Aerospace. I'm back to just stock, and I'm kind of like, I need something more than stock or a different configuration in stock to just kind of jive. But I can't go back to Aerospace or Yabai because this doesn't feel good coming from Linux tiles to Mac. So we're not gonna do that. I'm gonna figure out something else there. There's a different solution there that just, yeah. We'll figure that out too. F# COBOL would be better. Come on. I'm not trying to work on nuclear facilities with COBOL. F#. F# is amazing. I still love it. It's one of my favorite languages. Even though I'm not any good at it, I still enjoy writing in it. Or at least prompting. All right, y'all. I'm gonna try and call the fire department in here. Put out all these flames. And hopefully be back on a normal desktop system next week. We'll still be on Mac on Thursday. I promise a better system setup come Thursday. Workspaces with Rectangle. I think we'll do Workspaces, but I think instead of Rectangle, we're gonna use Raycast with some custom hotkeys. I think with Raycast Workspaces, I got some ideas rattling up here. Y'all take care. See y'all in the next one. And look forward to the YouTube streams and Twitch streams. And if you want to chat in Twitch and not buy a YouTube membership, you're always welcome to just sign in and use Chat Arena. Great piece of software. You don't have to sign in, or you could just use a direct IRC client. Chat on Twitch is just superior, but video on YouTube is better. So it's like, it's always a pull. Yeah, anyways. All right, y'all. Oh, WeChat's so good. That's such a good one. All right, y'all. Oh boy. Now, I probably should go to a stop screen. Oh well.